much as we had predicted. Too many humans, not enough space or resource to go around. The details are trivial and pointless. The reasons, as always, purely human ones. The Earth was nearly wiped clean of life. A great cleansing, an atomic spark struck by human hands, quickly raged out of control. Spears of nuclear fire rained from the skies. Continents were swallowed in flames and fell beneath the boiling oceans. Humanity was almost extinguished, their spirits becoming part of the background radiation that blanketed the Earth. A quiet darkness fell across the planet.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 12 of Fallout History and Lore. In the last episode, we took a look at the first two DLCs for Fallout New Vegas. In this episode, at the request of you guys, we're diving into the third DLC for Fallout New Vegas, Old World Blues. Old World Blues is the third add-on for Fallout New Vegas, released on July 19th for most platforms. Its story takes place in an area commonly referred to in the West as the Big Empty. The Big Empty is actually the Big Mountain Research and Development Center. This research center was located in the Southwest Commonwealth. It was originally built inside a cave system running underneath a large mountain peak that gave it its name, Big Mountain. The purpose of Big Mountain R&D is to create the technology of tomorrow without restraints, either moral or technical. Inside its walls, it housed some of the most gifted minds of pre-war Fallout universe. Research in the facility was as groundbreaking as it was unethical, using living human beings, both volunteers and Chinese-American detainees, even going so far as having a concentration camp of its very own, safeguarded by the US Army's giant robot scorpions, the X-42s. They even went so far as assassinating non-military targets and exhuming buried US citizens to procure research subjects. Due to a failed experiment conducted at the Y-Zero Research Center, the mountain above the center was vaporized, leaving behind a giant crater that exposed the facility. This catastrophe didn't even faze the researchers, and the efforts in pushing the boundaries of science continued unabated. The new land exposed by the explosion was adapted for scientific purposes. New facilities were established both above and below ground, including an artillery test field and a test town. This facility was under the guidance of 6 gifted executives: Boris, Dyla, Mobius, O, 8, and the administrator Klen. Their original names still unknown. As a group, they're called the Think Tank. The facility gave birth to new technologies such as next-generation hazmat suits, new models of cyborg dogs, advanced stealth suits, holograms, and much more. At the same time, many new horrors also were born in the laboratories of the Big Mountain. The Cazadors, the Night Stalkers, mutagenic plants, previously unknown toxins, and some of the other fearsome creatures that are in the wasteland. Both types were sold to private parties in exchange for certain favors. Frederick Sinclair obtained various experimental technologies, including even the prototype matter conversion machines, in return for allowing Big Mountain to use the Sierra Madre as a proving ground, a decision that backfired catastrophically when the experimental technologies turned on the casino inhabitants, dooming them all. When the Great War came, it didn't stop the research efforts. It merely put them on a different rail. Mobius worked on predicting the post-Holocaust economic system. A new project was also started with the purpose of preserving Big Mountain's think tank executives by transforming them into special brain bots named after their group, allowing them to continue their work at Big Mountain indefinitely. But they're reprogrammed to forget a part of their personality and their names. With no body to stand in the way, the research continued, becoming more sinister and debauched year after year. Eventually, over time, the remaining human staff disappeared or was killed by the increasing out-of-control facility, like the escaped Cazadors, the Night Stalkers. Only 6 think tanks remained in Big Mountain.
You're really quite difficult to ignore, you know. It's because you're, well, rather intriguing, if you'll forgive an old brain for saying so.
Mobius, tired of the think tank's endless, horrible experimentation, and believing that the think tanks had finally lost what remained of their humanity, erected a radar fence, a kind of radar-guided repulsor field around the perimeter of Big Mountain. to prevent the disembodied brains from escaping into the wasteland and destroying what little remained of humanity, with what his colleagues called a fertile testing ground. Soon after, Mobius moved himself into the X-42 robot warfare facility, renamed the Forbidden Zone, where he began to create the Robo-Scorpions, inspired by the Rad Scorpions wandering into Big Mountain. His new creations retain all the features of the pre-war model: tail-mounted energy bolt blasters, ice systems giving him the ability to see in areas he couldn't travel, remote control, and a public address system allowing him to monitor Big Mountain. Fearing that the radar fence would not suffice to hold the mad scientists inside the crater, he set up a repeating threat message to be broadcast to the think tank. The aim was to install fear and prompt them to focus on retrieving technologies that would allow them to dispose of Mobius. Big Mountain had few visitors. The sheer size of the crater served as the best camouflage for it. Most wanderers assumed the ragged edge to be a remnant of a massive nuclear explosion and avoided it altogether. The unfortunate few who wandered in disappeared forever, apprehended by robots and lobotomized by the think tanks to act as organic automatons, maintaining the decaying facility and protecting it against scavengers. Over the years, it became known in the wasteland as the Big Empty, a place where nothing exists. Its size and aura of mystery blocked the establishment of trade routes and reliable supply caravans between the Boneyard and New Vegas, a fact that proved crucial for the survival of Caesar's Legion immediately following the first battle of the Hoover Dam, as the NCR wasn't able to reinforce its arms quickly enough. Even if the facility's security was almost perfect, 3 people were able to elude the think tank and survive the horrors intended for them: Elijah, Ulysses, and Christine Royce. Elijah came to the Big Empty in search of weapons that would allow him to destroy the NCR and everyone who would oppose him in the creation of a new Brotherhood of Steel order. Elijah scoured the facility for technologies that would be useful to him in his endeavor. Namely, after learning of the Sierra Madre from Ulysses, he started gathering equipment that would allow him to crack the casino. The most important and sinister of the 3 were the concentration camp detainment collars that he experimented with during his stay. To find out if there was anything outside of Big Mountain, the think tank sent a satellite prototype with a unique charge of teleportation outside the Big Mountain, which crashed in the Mojave Drive-In. It emitted a signal in the form of a jazz theme named the Mysterious Broadcast that led to it. The courier arrived just after having been guided by the signal, inspected the satellite during the night, and triggered the unique teleporter. On board the satellite, transporting himself to Big Mountain. Afterwards, you, the courier, are taken to the sink in preparation to become a lobotomite. But due to the gunshot wound from Benny, causing a cranial injury in just the right place, it was enough for the sink autodock to change its programming to fix the problem, improving the cranial extraction procedure. However, in the process, it was necessary to replace the spine and heart with synthetic organs. With the courier's brain, the think tank would be granted the knowledge to modify their cranial selves into hosts to slip past the radar fence and leave Big Mountain. However, after the think tank extracted it, they degraded into bickering amongst themselves.
That was the most important part.
What do you mean, lost it? We are under siege!
Mobius saw an opportunity to steal the courier's brain with its knowledge and bring it into the Forbidden Zone, wanting to escape with the brain intact. The courier was obligated to help the think tank against Mobius to retrieve 3 pieces of technology, changing the Big Mountain forever. Old World Blues is one of the most unique and interesting DLCs for Fallout. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Fallout History and Lore. In the next episode, we head to the Divide and take a look at the final DLC for Fallout New Vegas, Lonesome Road. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button here on TGN for more gaming goodness, and as always, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.
Get your brain back!